Hello CLAT aspirants and welcome to We Learn Legal. In this class, I am going to tell you all about the salient features of the Indian Constitution. Let me tell you, ये एक पूरी लीगल रीजनिंग की प्लेलिस्ट है जिसमें हम क्लैट के लीगल रीजनिंग के सारे सब्जेक्ट्स के सारे टॉपिक्स को वन बाय वन कवर करने वाले हैं. My name is Sheva Khan and I am myself a lawyer. I'm a BLLB honors graduate and a gold medalist of my batch. And through this channel, I am trying to help CLAT aspirants like you to cover your syllabus as extensively as possible. इन classes का relevance आपके लिए इसलिए है क्योंकि last year CLAT 2025 में मेरी इन लीगल रीजनिंग के क्लासेस से 12 से 15 क्वेश्चंस डायरेक्टली आए हैं. उसकी मैं एक लिस्ट तैयार करके आपके साथ जल्दी शेयर करूंगी. एंड लेट मी टेल यू कि ये जो क्लासेस हैं ये बहुत ही रॉ लाइव क्लासेस हैं बिकॉज लास्ट ईयर मेरा एक प्रॉपर लीगल रीजनिंग का बैच था जो आगे भी आने वाला है. बट इन दिस all my students learned through the live classes, but they had to pay for these classes last year. But इस साल they're absolutely free for you and I want you to take maximum benefit out of them. In this class, we are going to study about the salient features of the Indian Constitution. Simple सी बात है, इसका मतलब जो Indian Constitution है उसके क्या important features हैं, क्या सबसे important elements हैं. अभी तक CLAT में कोई question तो directly यहाँ से नहीं आया है, but आपकी concept की building के लिए ये class बहुत important है. If you have any doubts from this class, note them down और आप मेरा एक WhatsApp group join कर सकते हैं. Link is there in the description box below. In this group, I personally cater to all of students and उनके doubts मैं खुद solve करती हूँ. Apart from that, अगर आप daily news analysis, daily current affairs quizzes, monthly current affairs magazine, monthly legal current affairs magazines, daily practice questions, assignments, along with the answers and explanations भी avail करना चाहते हैं, they are all available in my group for free of cost. So do not miss out on this. You can join it, but पहले class देख लो. And if you have any doubts, keep a note of them and ask me later. Now let's get started.
आज का टॉपिक let's start. This is called as the salient features of the Indian Constitution. Now, can anybody tell me the meaning of salient? Silent मत कर देना बस इसको, ठीक है? क्योंकि हमारे सर भी यूज्ड टू से so बच्चों today we are going to read about the silent features. मैंने कहा सर silent है तो पढ़ाई क्यों रहे हो आप? It's not silent, okay? It's salient. So anybody knows the meaning of salient? Any guesses? Yes.
Prominent.
Prominent. Very good. Prominent. ठीक है? So prominent, important, ठीक है? Essential. Anything can be there. Okay? So the Constitution of India. पहले can anyone tell me before we start? अच्छा, and I want all of you to participate. Okay? And जरूर अगर मन करे तो just unmute and answer. Okay? Just I want everyone to answer. Harini, Arya, Mridula, Smriti, all of you. Okay? So, when I talk about the Constitution of India, can anyone tell me when was the Constitution of India enforced? So, 26th January, and according to Arya, the year is 1949. ठीक है. There is one more date that comes is 26th November, and year is Samriddhi?
1949.
1949. Any other votes now? कोई और combination यहाँ पे? Mridula, according to you, any date? इसी में से आंसर दिस आंसर वाज समथिंग इज मिसिंग. दिमाग की बत्ती जल गई.
It was formed on November, but it was enforced.
Yes, ठीक है. So अभी I'll tell you when we will actually read the chapter of preamble ना, उसमें we will study this in more clarity. So what happened? अच्छा, when did we get independence? Tell me that date first. आने वाला है Independence Day.
15th August 1947.
तुम लोग को Independence Day इतना रुक के क्यों याद आ रहे हैं? अरे बताओ. So it was 15 August, year was
1947.
47, shabash. So this was the date of independence, okay? We got independent, right? But the date we got independence on, we did not have our own constitution, okay? So then came the role of whom? It was the role of the Constituent Assembly. Has anyone heard the name of B.R. Ambedkar, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar? Sabne suna hoga, I'm pretty sure. So he actually was the one who played a very important role in making the constitution. Okay, that is actually called the act of drafting the constitution. So there were so many committees, okay, in the constitution. Like one was taking care of fundamental rights, one was taking care of this, one was taking care of that. The final committee that used to put everything together and frame the constitution was called as the drafting committee. Okay. Now this drafting committee he was the chairman of the drafting committee. That is why it is said that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar played a very important role in making the constitution. Okay, so हुआ क्या कि 15th August 1947 को constitution ready नहीं था, though we were independent, right? So we took a time period, and after that time, it was on 26 November 1949 that the constitution was ready. ठीक है? So ready होने में and enforce होने में there is a difference. ठीक है? So I'll tell you one very fun fact over here, बच्चों. So what happened was that right after the we were independent, we took 2 years, 11 months, and 18 days exactly to make the Constitution of India. ठीक है? तो हुआ क्या कि 26 नवंबर 1949 कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन वाज रेडी, एकदम तैयार है सब कुछ, एकदम एवरीथिंग इज रेडी. बट व्हाई एक्चुअली वी से दैट इट वाज इन्फोर्स्ड ऑन 26 जनवरी 1950 एंड वी सेलिब्रेट दिस डे एज व्हिच डे? 26 जनवरी, रिपब्लिक डे. ठीक है, तो अब मेरे को बताओ कि व्हेन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन वाज रेडी ऑन 26 नवंबर 1949, why did we wait for 1-2 more months and brought it into action on 26 January 1950? Anyone can tell me? कुछ भी guess करो अगर हो सकता है तो. That if the constitution was ready, completely written, ready, everything on this date, 26 November 1949. But then why did we wait for 2 more months, December and January, to finally enforce it or start using it on 26 January 1950? 2 महीने का वेट क्यों किया? इतने साल से वेट कर रहे थे, 26 नवंबर को भी इन्फोर्स कर सकते थे. So what happened that it was actually on 26th January 1930 that first time the demand of Purn Swaraj was made. Remember? Complete independence. कि अब हमको इधर उधर टाइम पास कुछ मत कराओ, हमें फुल इंडिपेंडेंस चाहिए. We need full independence. So this was a historic date, है ना? 26 January 1930. So that is why it was thought that it is already 26 November. Why not wait for 2 more months and celebrate our Republic Day on the iconic and historic date of 26 January? Okay. So it was actually right after 20 years of this demand that we were now all ready with the independence and the constitution. क्या बात है? खिचड़ी कैसी लग रही है स्क्रीन पे? अभी तुम लोग को ये बताओ, रंग बिरंगी रंगोली. ठीक है, तो यहाँ तक थोड़ा सा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का बैकग्राउंड आया समझ में. That Constitution of India was not ready at the time of the independence. We took इन सब चीजों को ना याद करने की जरूरत नहीं, बस ये बात करने में बड़ा मजा आता है ऐसे बोलने में ना. Factually, that we took 2 years, 11 months, and 18 days exactly to complete the Constitution. It was ready on 26 November 1949, but because of the 1930 Purn Swaraj event, we waited for 2 more months and we finally enforced, yes, started using the Constitution on 26 January 1950, which we today celebrate as Republic Day. Everybody okay with this? Now, when we talk about this constitution, there are some features, some qualities of a constitution which are very prominent and which make it the way it is today, right? Like if I were to say, chalo, let's do an exercise before we move further. Starting with Samriddhi. Samriddhi, tell me one quality of yours that is very much about you. That it can be anything. You like to do something or anything about your nature. One quality of yours. राइट? अभी इसमें कुछ ऐसा लिखने जैसा है भी नहीं, इसमें तो कोई क्वेश्चन आता नहीं है. ठीक है, ये तो मैंने तुम लोग को ऐसी फ्री का ज्ञान दिया है. ठीक है, पर ये ज्ञान जो है ना तो बाकियों को दोगे ना तो वहां वो बड़े खुश हो जाते हैं कि अरे यार बड़े होशियार बच्चे हैं यार ये. ठीक है, सो ये दिस इज माय ओवर द इयर्स आई हैव लर्नड दीस थिंग्स एंड आई टोल्ड यू. ठीक है, तो वी कैन से दैट समृद्धि हैज अ केयरफ्री एटीट्यूड. कैन वी से carefree, not in the wrong sense, but yes, she does not really care or bother with what people say about her, and she likes to do things the way she wants to. Right? Harini, can you tell me one quality that is prominent about you? That belongs to you. Not that ki kisi aur mein nahi ho sakti, but something that is yours, your prominent quality. So Harini is a learner. Can we all say that? She is a learner. She strives to learn. Very good. And it's rather a very good one. ठीक है. Arya, what's yours? ठीक है. So we can say emotional, or basically we can say emotionally more active or intelligent. Can we say this? Because mostly people who are emotional can feel the emotions also more of the other person also, right? So we can say she is emotionally intelligent. क्या तुम लोग बड़े अच्छे बच्चे हो यार. ठीक है. Mrudula, what's your one quality? Right. So can we say curious? Curiosity. So think about it. अच्छा चलो let's do for myself also. अब मैं अपनी तारीफ क्या ही करूं, but क्या बोलूं मैं खुद के लिए. Okay, I can say that I am prominently. सॉरी तो पति अजीब है, मतलब चलो anything I can say. Maybe I can say that I am communicative. This I can say. I like to talk. I like to communicate rather. I like to talk to new people, get to know about them and everything. So just think about it. So many people, so many experiences in our life, so many qualities that we might have. आपको क्या लग रहा है? Samriddhi, is she only carefree? She might be so many other things also, right? Harini is a learner. She might also get irritated at something. Sheva might be communicative, but she also might be very irritating. Then, but this is one thing that we primarily think about ourselves. है ना? या फिर इस मोमेंट पे एटलीस्ट हमने जब सोचा तो ये हमें अपने बारे में समझ में आया, right? So that is how we call that these might be the salient features of our personality. Getting? Why I'm telling it you like this? Because Constitution of India also beta has so many like articles, so many qualities, so many things, but we only talk about 10 to 12 such qualities or such features which are highly prominent about it. Now you understand the meaning of salient features? Then especially we'll be reading about those things which are very, very important for the Constitution of India. All okay, all on board with me? Let's start with the first salient feature of the Indian Constitution. That is that it is the lengthiest written constitution. देखो ऐसा होता है जैसे इंडिया में ना लोगों को बड़ा शौक है ज्ञान देने का, ठीक है? हर चीज मतलब देखो बेटा ऐसे नहीं होती. If you are even traveling in a metro and you allow a person to give you some ज्ञान, he or she will be happy to give you that. ठीक है? अब जैसे I'll give you one, oh my god, example. I was just going somewhere in the metro, so I had my hair like this. ठीक है? So I was just looking at my hair. अपने आप में, अपनी दुनिया में मस्त हूँ मैं. यार ये स्ट्रिट एंड्स हो रहे हैं, what to do? चलो ठीक है, I'll maybe oil and something, I'll do something. तो अभी कुछ और भी चल रहा है. So I'm just doing. And now सामने वाले को लग रहा होगा कि बेचारी स्प्लिट एंड से बहुत परेशान है, ये कुछ तो हो रहा होगा, जबकि they're not so prominent. There are. So she's like कि स्प्लिट एंड्स हो रहे हैं. I'm like मतलब कि नहीं बाल में. मैंने कहा हाँ थोड़े तो. देखो मैं बताती हूँ बेटा, ये तेल इतना इंग्रेडिएंट गिना दिया उनने मुझे. हम लाइक आंटी आई लिव अलोन, आई कैन बेयरली ईट. ओके, तो मैं अपने लिए खाना बना ले रही हूँ अपनी गैस के ऊपर. दैट्स इनफ आई एम डूइंग. ओके, आई कैन नॉट कुक दिस ऑयल एंड पुट ऑन माय हेड. ओके, दैट्स लाइक आंटी को किसने बोला? ठीक है, मतलब एक होता है कि आई आस्क फॉर समथिंग, ठीक है, एंड यू गिव दैट एडवाइस. बट सम पीपल देन किसी को घुटनों के दर्द का भी शी वाज टेलिंग, किसी का स्किन का ड्राइनेस का, तो मैंने कहा ठीक है आंटी इज ऑल यू नो. मैं आंटी आपको यूट्यूब चैनल खोल लो, you will do great over there. So in this regard also, in Indian Constitution also, we have the lengthiest written constitution of the world. So when the Indian Constitution was made, there were approximately 395 articles, and अभी proposed भी 444 से ज़्यादा है, मतलब under amendment जो होते हैं. But we have approximately 400 articles in the entire book. ठीक है? So it is not just that it is so lengthy, but also it is written. We all know we have the book named the Constitution of India. So if you have to refer to, you can actually turn pages of a book and refer to it, right? So what does it say? That unlike the constitutions that of Britain, which is unwritten. So Britain जो है ना, like England, ठीक है? The constitution over there is not written. You cannot find a specific book where the constitution will be written. It is simply evolving, and it is interpreted as at what the courts say. So if let's say that A versus B का कोई केस चला गया वहां के कोर्ट में, now whatever judgment will come, now this judgment becomes the law of the land. So they do not write it down anywhere or anything, they just refer to the courts की cases. Okay, but in India we have these as a written constitution. All right, so Indian Constitution is a written document with more than 400 articles. Okay, चलो अभी with all your honesty, do not read this portion. But why? Can you make a guess that why was it needed? Why did we write down? We could also have gone with this process only जो Britain follow कर रहा है. But why did we think of writing the constitution? Or rather, we took almost 3 years to write the constitution. Any guesses? Do not read it. Just try to answer on your own. Okay? तो एक हो सकता है कि अगर change होगा to avoid confusion maybe. So maybe we can say legal self-dependence can be one reason, right? Very good. So these are actually the most important 2 reasons for this. When like so far till the time of 1947, India used to follow whose laws, whose rules? The British, है ना? So we used to like अपना दिमाग हम लगाते ही नहीं थे, and whatever Britishers used to tell us, we used to do that. But now, when we are wanting to be a full-fledged country of our own, then it is very much desirable that we have our own constitution so that we do not have to run here and there to look up to the people in other constitutions. Ki bhai, what to do now in this situation? What should be done? What should be the rights of the people? No, we wanted it to be our own. So that can be one thing, that we had everything in the written format. This is correct. But what makes it so lengthy? Now you tell me this, that what makes it so lengthy? Likha to likha, itna kyun likha? Right. So this is actually one reason that India, you bachcho, ye baat aapko pata hai na, when we were getting our independence, then there were more than 500 provinces and we brought them together as one country. Hai na? Say Hyderabad, Junagadh, Kashmir, South Southern India, Eastern India, they were all different provinces. Alag-alag raja jo the na, wo inko rule karte the. So it was, acha, whose responsibility was it? Can anyone tell me? To bring all the provinces together. इनकी बहुत बड़ी सी statue है in Gujarat. महात्मा गांधी की स्टैचू है गुजरात में, बड़ी सी, like it's a very big heighted statue.
Iron Man of India.
Who is the Iron Man of India? Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Okay, he's known as the Iron Man of India, and that is the reason, bachcho, why he's called as the Iron Man of India, because he brought the entire country together as strong as iron. Okay, so here what happened was that because there was so much of diversity in the entire country, I wanted, अब जैसे मैं example लेती हूँ. I call you all in a party, ठीक है, at my home, ठीक है. तो अब जरा, और मेरा favorite food है, let's say very cliche, राजमा चावल, ठीक है. Now I'm calling all of you in a party. I now have to go to Italian cuisine also for samriddhi. Now I also have to go to Tibetan cuisine for momos. Then I also have to, let's say, go to a French cuisine for best of the cakes and desserts, and Indian cuisine for myself. अब सोचो, अब इतनी जब diversity है, so to bring so many people together from different cultures, different languages, different religions together, we need to have more provisions for everybody. अब सोचो, if I were to ask my cook कि भैया सबका खाना बना दो जरा, पहले तो वो मुझे मन में गाली देगा, सामने से तो नहीं देगा, ठीक है. उसके बाद वो कहेगा अब मैं पिज्जा भी बनाऊँ, अब मैं मोमोज भी बनाऊँ, अब मैं केक और डेजर्ट्स भी बनाऊँ, मैं राजमा भी बनाऊँ. So when you have to accommodate many kinds of people, many kinds of interests, it is very much possible that the thing will become a big one. तो अब डाइनिंग टेबल पे 4 तरह के खाने लगेंगे कि नहीं लगेंगे? So similarly, the constitution also has become lengthy because India has tribals, India has people from different religions, from different castes, communities, thoughts, cultures, so much of diversity, right? So to avoid any confusion, we wrote everything, and to accommodate everyone's interests, we made it the lengthiest written constitution. Got it? So यहाँ पे क्या है ना, just learning that India has the lengthiest written constitution is not enough. You must know why we did not skip so many sections. Why do we have several sections, for languages only? Because we have so many languages. Got it? So this is very, very important. So first thing is that India has the lengthiest written constitution. Right. Now next one, badi achhi si baat hai, that we are drawn from various sources. Now the point is that when we were making the constitution, who will we refer to as the source of our constitution? Bhai, we never had a constitution of our own, hai na? Now, how are we supposed to see that this will work for us, this will not work for us? So the reason why we took 2 years, 11 months and 18 days, it is one of the biggest reasons that India had so much of diversity, right? Now we had to accommodate all the people in one constitution. So constitutions of several other countries were studied by the experts, by the members of our Constituent Assembly. Constituent Assembly beta is nothing. It is just those people who were responsible for making the constitution. Okay. So they read so many of other constitutions and they selectively picked the features from different constitutions. That ye acha lag raha hai, ye acha lag raha hai, ye acha lag raha hai, this will suit the country. And the mixture of all of these different constitutions ke alag-alag features is the Constitution of India. Okay. And the biggest foundation was the Government of India Act 1935. So basically what happened was that before the independence of the country, the Britishers also, they came up with the GOI Acts. Okay? So one was the Government of India Act 1919 also. Okay? This was also there. This 1935 was also there. So for the governance of the Indians, they brought these acts. So many features जो अभी आज हैं, many features of the Indian Constitution have also been taken from the GOI 1935. GOI, Government of India Act. Okay. Then let's take example. We have taken some things from Australia also, like what is a concurrent list? Do not worry, I'll tell you what a concurrent list is. ठीक है, अभी परेशान मत हो. freedom of trade, commerce and intercourse, then joint sitting of the two houses of parliament. Canada से भी हमने कुछ लिया है. We have taken the federation with a strong center. I'll tell you, ये सब मैं explain करूँगी. Okay, do not worry. Okay. Then we have the Supreme Court, this advisory jurisdiction of Supreme Court. Russia से हमने लिया fundamental duties. ठीक है. Then Ireland से हमने लिया directive principle of state policy. These are all important features of the constitution, and we have picked them from different countries. ठीक है. So this is second feature of the Indian Constitution that we have adopted. देखो इसको बहुत अच्छा word हम use करते हैं, adoption, drawing from this. अब कई क्रिटिक्स होते हैं वो ये भी कहते हैं कि हमने कॉपी पेस्ट मारा है, बट सी इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल. कॉपी पेस्ट होता तो हम पूरा ऑस्ट्रेलिया का उठाते या पूरा कनाडा का उठाते, बट वी वर वेरी सिलेक्टिव व्हाइल चूजिंग इट. ओके, सो द सेकंड फीचर इज दिस. नाउ द थर्ड फीचर इज ब्लेंड ऑफ रिजिडिटी एंड फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी. ये थोड़ा सा आपको टफ लग सकता है समझने के लिए, बट वी विल डू इट बेटर व्हेन वी विल रीड अबाउट द अमेंडमेंट. ठीक है, दैट्स अनदर चैप्टर, वो हम अलग से ही करेंगे. बट व्हाट हैपेंस इज, डज एनीवन अंडरस्टैंड द मीनिंग ऑफ अमेंडमेंट? एनी आइडिया अबाउट अमेंडमेंट? क्या होता है अमेंडमेंट ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन? जैसे हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन होता है, सो इफ वी वांट टू चेंज द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, मतलब कोई भी एनी प्रोविजन, एनी आर्टिकल, एनीथिंग रिटन इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, simply changing this is called as amendment. So it is nothing but change, but in the legal bhasha it is called as amendment. Okay, so why there is a provision of amendment? So that the constitution does not become dead. You know, it has to be changed. It has to change. Like giving you an idea, so the constitution is one thing. IPC has now been changed to BNS. Why? Because it was need of the hour. We wanted to include some things. We wanted to draw out some things. So it is always nice that the law should be able to change with the time and society. Otherwise, it will become obsolete या फिर it will become useless. Okay? ऐसा होता है कि इन पे ध्यान ही इतनी मुश्किल से पहुंचता है ना समृद्धि लोगों का. I'll tell you, Indian Penal Code बच्चों, it was made in the year 1860. Oh my God! मतलब 1860 के बाद Britishers had changed their laws. Indians have not. मतलब how ironical is this? 1860 का बना हुआ एक लॉ 2024 तक चल रहा है. तभी I'll tell you, anyone of you've heard of this crime, adultery? Adultery क्या होती थी? Adultery क्या होती थी? Like if there is a husband और इसकी एक wife है, now this wife has an affair with another person B. ठीक है? So technically what should happen for this extramarital affair? Both wife and that new boyfriend should be held liable, है ना? But according to adultery, this is the adultery मैं बताती हूँ. According to IPC 1860, wife is very innocent. A woman can do no wrong because वो तो इतनी सीधी है, इतनी भोली है कि उसको तो बहकाया होगा पक्का, उसको जरूर कुछ फुसलाया होगा इसने, इस जालिम बॉयफ्रेंड ने. क्यों भाई, तुम बच्ची हो नहीं ना? So why the woman is so innocent? Because in the times of 1860, it was really considered that women are very innocent creatures. And if they're doing something wrong, अपने दिमाग से they must not be doing anything wrong. इसने भटकाया होगा बदतमीज ने इसको चक्कर चलाने के लिए. So think about it. In this adultery, only this boyfriend used to get jail, not the wife. ठीक है? And मतलब it was like, how अजीब is this? Then, अभी I think in 2019, if I'm not wrong, adultery was taken away, taken off from the IPC. That it is no crime whatsoever. Bhai, if your wife or husband, if they have an affair outside, then you can ask for a divorce. It's okay, but it is not a crime. They're adults, they can go into a relationship with the other person also. So think about it. That woman was considered so innocent 1860 के according, but 2024 में तो औरतें मतलब बड़ी आ गई. ठीक है? Then what to do? देखो क्या होगा कि जैसे let's talk about a Muslim marriage. A Muslim marriage is a completely contractual marriage. मतलब like in my case, if I ever get married to a Muslim guy, तो I will actually be signing like a document, ठीक है, which इसको हम निकाहनामा कहते हैं. ठीक है? तो it is actually a contract only. So yes, if you are not loyal to your partner, you're cheating with your partner, ठीक है, cheating on your partner, so you are for sure breaching this that you had with your husband, है ना? But is it also a crime, Samriddhi? That's a different topic. Getting? Adultery made this act a crime. We are saying कि भाई you have done wrong, take a divorce. The husband can ask for a divorce. But can also you get a jail term for that? Now not. It's not possible. Okay? So this is one thing. Yes, it can be a ground for divorce. It can be a ground for not giving you a lot of property share or maintenance or whatsoever. But it is not a crime now. Okay? So this is how it used to be. Special Marriage Act. So क्योंकि when in India we were bringing so many people together, ये तो होना ही था, ठीक है, कहीं ना कहीं तो प्यार होगा ही, जरूरी तो नहीं है कि अब मैं अपनी कास्ट का ही ढूंढ के उससे प्यार करूं, ठीक है. So it was quite known that there will be and there can be a case where a Muslim might want to marry a Hindu might want to marry a Christian might want to marry a Muslim, something like that. So interreligious marriages were very much anticipated, accepted तो कितना ही बोलूं मैं, but they were कि हाँ ये होंगी. For that matter, Sonakshi Sinha's marriage, neither does it come in Muslim law, nor does it come in Hindu marriage. Getting? It comes under the Special Marriage Act. Okay, so they have actually got जो sign कर रहे हैं ना अपना document, जो photos में आ रहा है, they're actually signing a document from the Special Marriage Act. Okay, so इसलिए they are saying कि नहीं, I will not take anything from Hindu law also, I'll not follow the Muslim law also. We are special people, we will take a Special Marriage Act only. Okay, so all of the interreligious marriages come under the Special Marriage Act. And intercaste agar hai, but your religion is same, then it will come in your particular thing only. Because Hindu Marriage Act does not prohibit intercaste marriage. अब लोग तो बोलते हैं वो अलग बात है, but law does not prohibit it. ठीक है? So लेकिन अगर दो religions के बीच में तो special marriage में आएगा. All right. Now, when we talk about the blend of rigidity and flexibility, it is simply that when we want to change the constitution or make any changes in the constitution, कुछ ऐसे provisions हैं, there are some provisions that can be changed very easily. And that is when we say that the constitution is very flexible. But there are some provisions which can be changed with a lot of difficulty only because they're so tough to change. And that is when we say that the constitution is very rigid. All right. So when we'll read about it in the amendment chapter, we will read that which all provisions are very easy to change and which are quite difficult to change. And that is why, because we have a mix of both, we call that the Indian constitution is a blend of rigidity and flexibility. Okay. So this is how it is. ये अभी हम ना आगे पढ़ेंगे, अभी इतनी करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Some can be changed with simple majority. ठीक है. They are very flexible. Simple majority is 50% membership, president voting. Don't get into this अभी. I will tell you later. और कुछ जो tough हैं, जो those are rigid to be changed, they need a special majority, and it is this. I'll tell you later on. Okay, don't worry अभी. Fourth, federal system with unitary bias. बड़ा simple सा होता है. So we all belong to different states, but which country do we belong to? Can there be another question, another answer to it? No, India, right? So which, by that I mean that in the Indian system, we have the center and the states. Getting? So like we have, you people must also have some governments in your state. There will be kahin pe BJP ho sakti hai, kahin pe kuch ho sakti hai. But at the center we have BJP. It's not about the politics, but we have a system of government at the central country also, that is in New Delhi. And we also have our government systems in our own states also. By that, we understand that India is a federal country, which means that we have divided the powers between the center and the states. Understood? This is the only meaning when we talk about a federal system, where the power is divided between the center and various states. Okay? So we are a federal country, but we have a unitary bias. Can anybody explain what is a unitary bias? Biasness पता है क्या होती है? If we are partial towards someone, we are favoring somebody, huh? That is called biasness. Unitary is basically nothing better. It is another word for central, which means that yes, we are agreeing that we have divided the powers between the center and the states, but the center enjoys more powers as compared to the states. So division तो है. क्या ये division equal भी है? No. Okay? This is the meaning of it, wherein we understand, let's say that there is some emergency situation in the country. Like let's say some war is going on. God forbid, but war is going on. So can we say that the country in the center and the states will have equal power in that time also? What do you think? Because at that time, it is very important to keep the country all together, and thus the center takes a bigger hold of the nation, right? So at that time, we were a federal country, but the power moved more towards the center because we are a federal system with a unitary bias. Means we have biasness of power towards the center. Got it? So this is very important. So in this, let's understand that what are the federal features. मतलब वो ऐसे कौन से features हैं जिनसे हमें पता चलता है that there is division of power. We have two governments, state mein alag, center mein alag. There is division of powers. We have written constitution which gives different provisions to different governments, right? Supremacy of constitution. The constitution says that, this is the thing, and governor की power ये है, CM की power ये है, president की power ये है. Independent judiciary. Bicameralism means we have two houses in the parliament, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha is for all the people, Rajya Sabha represents the states, right? But there are also many features which tell about the unitary thing, यानी कि जहाँ पे center को ज़्यादा important दे रखी है. As I was saying, the power of center during emergency, है ना? So in this situation, कभी war होती है, कुछ होता है, emergency situations में, the power will be more at the center. Prevalence of central laws in the case of conflict. मतलब let's say that state government is saying something, central government is saying something. Now, if there is a conflict, अपनी अकल से बताओ कि whose law will be more important. तो आमतौर पे we were saying कि equal powers हैं, तब तो there should have been only a clash. But we say there is a division of powers, we agree, but it is not an equal division of powers. The center will be more powerful in India. Okay, so this is what we mean by federal system with unitary bias. Now we'll just wind it up in like 5 minutes more, bachcho, okay? And then I just wanted to give you an idea of the classes, okay? Then parliamentary form of government, ये तो हम सबको ही पता है, इंडिया में parliament है, ठीक है? That means that we have a parliamentary system, and the prime minister also comes out from the parliament only. तो इंडिया में सारे laws का discussion और सब चीज कहाँ होती है? It all happens in the parliament only, right? So we have a parliamentary government, and because India में the prime minister is very, very important, he has a lot of power. Indian government or Indian system is also called as prime ministerial government. On the contrary, US जो है, US as a country is called as what kind of a government? ठीक है? तो you must see that all the things that US is doing, वैसे तो अभी बेचारा डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प मरते मरते बच गया, ठीक है, एक्स प्रेसिडेंट हो, ठीक है, but all the things that they do in the name of president. So wherever America has to be represented, who goes? The president goes. But in India, who goes? The prime minister goes. So it is just about that who enjoys more power in a government system, right? So in India, it is the prime minister, and that is why we call it as the prime ministerial government also. All right. Now, next is rule of law. Rule of law is nothing but that the constitution or the law will be above anybody and everybody, above you, above me, above the CM, above the PM, whoever. There will always be rule of law. All right. Next is independent and integrated judiciary. बहुत ही simple सा है. But independent judiciary, what do we mean? That if the Supreme Court is saying anything, the government or the parliament, nobody can say anything to the Supreme Court. Now, we are not saying कि Supreme Court कुछ भी करे, घूमते रहे पागलों की तरह कुछ भी करे, तो कोई कुछ बोलेगा नहीं. No. But if this XYZ task is under the area of Supreme Court, nobody can say anything to the Supreme Court. ठीक है? तो वो independently काम करेगा. There is no influence of the government ताकि हमें justice मिल सके. This is clear to all of you? CGI जो होता है ना, actually he comes, वो किस system select होता है? Collegium system select होते हैं. I'll tell you the system later on. है ना?
Even the collegium system is not given in the constitution.
Right. तो अभी I'll tell you, इसको ना एक नाम दिया गया था. It was in the year 2014 when what happened was that the collegium system जो था, collegium system as in the composition of the people who will select the judges, it was changed. इसमें कुछ गवर्नमेंट के ऑफिसर्स को डाल दिया गया था, एग्जीक्यूटिव्स को डाल दिया गया था. Then it was said that we are not following the rule of independence of judiciary because if I am a person from the government, मतलब executive में parliament में हूँ, ठीक है, why should I have the power to select a judge of the Supreme Court? Because then I will want to select one judge जो मेरे को फेवर करेगा. तो इंडिपेंडेंस कहाँ है ना? सो उस टाइम पे उस सिस्टम को हमने मना कर दिया था. और अभी क्या होता है, कलेजियम जो होता है, इट इज नॉट मेंशन्ड एज सच इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, बट द कॉम्पोजिशन इज ऑफ दोज जजेस ओनली, प्रीवियस चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया या कुछ भी, बट सुप्रीम कोर्ट एज इन द जुडिशियल सिस्टम ऑन इट्स ओन सिलेक्ट्स द अपकमिंग जजेस. No interference from the executive, no interference from the bureaucracy, no interference from the parliament, nothing as such. Got it? So this is very important to maintain that. देखो क्या होता है, अगर if you want a job, let's say Samriddhi, ठीक है, and you get this job because of my reference, I will always have an upper hand in your life. कि मैंने नौकरी पे लगाया, अच्छा ज्यादा बोल रही, हटवाती तुझे नौकरी से. Get it? So because you are not independent in getting that post, I will always have influence on you. So you are not independent, right? That is why in judiciary, to make sure that it is working completely independently, the appointment system is also done in a way that nobody from outside interferes in it, so that they cannot have any influence on it, right? So this is one thing, that the independence is there in the Indian judiciary. Second, integrated judiciary, simple meaning ये है, we have district courts, we have session courts, then we have high courts, then we have Supreme Court, right? They are all in a hierarchy. ये तो देखा होगा, अगर कोई मैटर है आपका, यहाँ पे आपको जजमेंट ठीक नहीं लगा, तो आप अपील में कहाँ जाओगे? Where will you go? You'll go to the high court. If you are not happy with the high court judgment also, you can go and appeal to the Supreme Court. So it is all in a hierarchy. This. But they're all put together in an integration, and that is why it is called as the integrated judiciary. आया समझ में? So we have hierarchy of courts, and that is why we call it as an integrated judiciary. Fundamental rights simply क्या होते हैं? All those rights which are given to the citizens and some non-citizens also of the country, which are fundamental in nature. We'll read them. ये तो बहुत important chapter है, ठीक है? We'll read them exclusively. Directive principle of state policy. These are those directives, those principles which help the governments to function. They show them the light, the way to be followed. Okay? Fundamental duties. सिर्फ मजे ही करते रहोगे, पर ड्यूटी भी निभाओगे, हाँ? So the citizens of the country have some duties also to fulfill. ठीक है? So these are the fundamental duties. Single citizenship. You tell me one thing, Samriddhi. If you are from Haryana, do you also have any citizenship of Haryana? Domicile नहीं, citizenship. But citizenship India में एक ही है, और वो है Indian citizenship. Okay, but that's not the case in all the countries. In America, there are 50 states now. So whichever state you belong to, you'll also be a citizen of that state, and you'll also be a citizen of USA. So you have dual citizenship. But in India, we have only single citizenship. जब हम इंडिया के बारे में लिखते हैं ना, we write India is a union of states. कहीं सुना है? India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. First Article 1 of the Indian Constitution यही बोलता है. पहला article. India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. But when we talk about the USA, it is called as Federation of States. Now I'll give you the difference. By union of states, we mean that yes, we have different states, but can they also part their ways from the Indian center and become their own states? No. Because we are a union. हम साथ साथ हैं. That's the thing, ठीक है? But USA में, we call them as the Federation of States, which means that if need be, these 50 states can part their ways and become their own countries of their own. Getting? So वहाँ पे union नहीं है. It's a federation. It's like an agreement. हम हैं, आज हैं, कल हैं, कुछ नहीं पता हमें. So that is why they make sure that if 100 people are living in that particular state, they're also the citizens of that particular state. उनका constitution भी अलग है. India में we have only one constitution that governs the entire country. But US में ना, they have 50 constitutions अलग से, जो इनके अपने अपने states के हैं, and one constitution of the entire country. Right? So that is why, because it is so separated from the entire system, the citizenship is also given for clarity. Okay? Like if, let's say, if I am a citizen of this X state in USA. So I will be following the constitution of that state only. Of course, in consonance with the American constitution, but I will not be following it for the Y state. देखो, I am not saying, see, I will also have to read into it. देखो, ऐसा तो नहीं होगा कि आज सुबह, अरे बहुत बोर हो गए यार यूएसए में, चलो अपना कुछ देश बनाते हैं, ठीक है? तो ऐसा तो नहीं हो पाएगा. I am pretty sure that there must be some terms and conditions जो उनको follow करने ही होंगे. But there is a possibility to do it. That is the point. कि it is available. This option is available. तो हाँ, I think अगर वो सब चीजों पे check करते होंगे, तो they can be given the allowance to become their own thing on their own. इंडिया में तो ये allowed ही नहीं है. लड़ लो, भिड़ लो, गाली दे लो, सरकार को कुछ भी कर लो, रहना यही है बेटा. ठीक है? वो उधर ही मम्मी पापा कर लो, ड्रामा कर लो बेटा, जाओगी तो नहीं. ठीक है? उन्हें तो कितना भी रोलो पी लो, पार्टी में नहीं जाना है तो रोलो. I used to be like, when I was in school, तो नाइट आउट्स वर लाइक भैया सो डिफिकल्ट टू आस्क फॉर, और चाहे 2 गली छोड़ के ही जाना होता था. ठीक है? सो प्यार से मम्मी से, मम्मी प्लीज देखो मैं तो पढ़ने में भी अच्छी हूँ, मम्मी जाने दो, कर लो कोई बात नहीं. मम्मी प्लीज, मम्मी ये कोई बात होती है क्या? कर लो. मम्मी प्लीज, कुछ भी इमोशन दिखा लो, आंसर इज नहीं. नहीं बेटा, तुम कुछ भी कर लो, रो लो, मत खाना खाओ, कल तो खा ही लोगी. सो ऑप्शन ही अवेलेबल नहीं होता था. ठीक है? बट अमेरिका में दे हैव दिस ऑप्शन अवेलेबल. और तुमको एक बड़ी अजीब सी बात बताऊं, उनके जो स्टेट के कोर्ट्स है ना, वो उनको सुप्रीम कोर्ट बोलते हैं, और जो एक है उसको हाई कोर्ट बोलते हैं. बड़े पगलेट है वैसे ना. मतलब इंडिया में क्या है, अपने अपने हाई कोर्ट्स हैं, एक सुप्रीम कोर्ट, नाम से ही समझ में आ रहा है सुप्रीम कोर्ट. वहां पे अपने अपने सुप्रीम कोर्ट्स हैं और एक हाई कोर्ट है. अमेरिका में ऐसा होता है। तो वहां की जुडिशरी इंडिपेंडेंट है, ठीक है, इंटीग्रेटेड है और इंडिपेंडेंट है। डेफिनेटली अगर आप एक वाले पे जा रहे होगे तो वो यूएस के कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को ही फॉलो करेगा, राइट? क्योंकि देखो, अगर आपकी स्टेट के कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के हिसाब से निकालना था तो आपने कोर्ट्स में निकलवा लो जो भी जजमेंट था या कुछ भी। Now, if you're going into appeal, it is pretty clear that you're not satisfied with that judgment, है ना? But if you're coming to one national thing, it will follow the national law only. Getting? So it must be like that. But abhi I am also not very sure, but common sense के हिसाब से ऐसे ही होना चाहिए. Indians have only one citizenship, and that is the Indian citizenship. For example, I was born in Haryana. My parents live in Uttarakhand. Now I'm coming back and working in Haryana. So did I have to, do any paperwork or anything? No. You can travel to any state, you can go and live in any state, study in any state, do a job in any state. So in India, the movement from one state to another is very, very easy, which proves that we do not have any citizenship of the states per se, right? But
Yes.
if I want to move outside of India, I will need a passport, right? So I enjoy one citizenship, that is the Indian citizenship. So states की कोई नहीं है. If you are an outsider as in, if you outsider का मतलब यहाँ पे होता है if you do not have domicile. Domicile बच्चों simply क्या होता है कि if you're born in a particular state and you have lived for let's say 15 to 20 years ऐसा कुछ रहता है, then you get the domicile of that state. Okay, so like you're giving idea of Sikkim, even in Uttarakhand also, like me and my family, we were not born in Uttarakhand, है ना? Because of my father's job, we lived there. Now technical grounds पे we are outsiders of Uttarakhand, ठीक है, देखा जाए तो, हालांकि अब हमें भी हो गए 17-18 साल वहां रहते हुए, ठीक है, but we were not born there. So if I want to buy a land there ना, there is some limit, very small limit. You cannot buy land beyond that. इतना ही मिलेगा, उसके अलावा नहीं मिलेगा. Why is that done? One thing I'll tell you, Arya, because see, there are always some localites of a particular area. ये तो you agree, है ना, कि भाई there will be some people who have been living from centuries over there. Their generations have been living over there. This is to promote their individuality. Just imagine if all the people from the entire country will be allowed. Nobody's asking you कि you can't live there. Rent पे रहो, ठीक है? But if we will allow you to buy the properties over there without any limits, then don't you think that the culture, the heritage, and the living, livability of the people who have been living there from years and years will be disturbed? Do you agree with that or not? है ना? So तो बाकी states को क्यों नहीं है? Because if you सारे examples देखना, सिक्किम, उत्तराखंड, हिमाचल, these were all those states that have a very distinct culture. You will have to agree with me on this. The people over here, ये लोग ज़्यादा बाहर नहीं जाते हैं कहीं. They are very happy living in their own places, right? So if at all there will be a place that has more distinct culture, more heritage to be protected, there will be more laws like this. Always remember this. ठीक है? जैसे क्या होता है, आप कहीं पे भी किसी ट्राइबल एरिया में जाके कुछ जमीन नहीं खरीद सकते. Why? You can go visit, okay, nobody is asking you, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. वो भी मना करते हैं कभी कभी. That is a very sensitive area, okay? But if I will just go there, or I'm saying कि what you guys are eating, I don't know, I think I'll buy this entire land and I'll do something new only. पूरे कल्चर की तो ऐसी हो गई, है ना? So उन पर्टिकुलर स्टेट्स में ही आ रहा है ये, इस तरह के लॉज ज्यादा होंगे जहां पे उनकी जो पॉपुलेशंस हैं who are protecting that culture, एक तो वो कम है, ठीक है? बिकॉज अगर ऐसा हो तो करोड़ों लोग रह रहे हैं, nobody will harm the culture of these people because there are thousands and crores of people following that culture. Getting? One is this, and that their culture is very distinct. So to make sure that nobody is harming any outsider, यानी कि a person from different culture is not harming their integral culture, we make such kind of laws. थोड़ा sense बन रहा है? Just I'll give you an example. Puducherry, Pondicherry. Why did we make it a union territory? We could have made it a small state like Goa, but why is this a union territory and Goa is not a union territory? What do you think? You'll answer me this. या फिर ये तो सुना ही होगा, अंडमान एंड निकोबार, दमन एंड दीव, इनको यूनियन टेरिटरीज क्यों बनाया? स्टेट क्यों नहीं बना दिया? या स्टेट में ही अलग से स्टेट ना बनाते, गुजरात में डाल देते, या फिर अंडमान एंड निकोबार का कोलकाता में डाल देते, लाइक एज इन वेस्ट बंगाल में. Why? This is nice, ना? So I'll just take your doubt, Mridula. Okay, I'll explain this to Arya first. किसी भी यूनियन टेरिटरी को देख लो, दिल्ली इज ऑन एक्सेप्शन. दिल्ली इज ऑन एक्सेप्शन बिकॉज इट इज सो सेंट्रल टू द कंट्री. इट इज सो एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिवली इंपॉर्टेंट. दैट इज वाई. कल्चर का रीजन वहां पे नहीं है. अंडमान एंड निकोबार, इंडिया के मोस्ट ऑफ द ट्राइब्स आर लिविंग इन अंडमान एंड निकोबार. दमन एंड दीव, सेपरेट डिस्टिंक्ट कल्चर. Goa also enjoyed the position of a union territory for a long time. Then later it became a state. Puducherry, okay? Very distinct culture. So it was very important that the center takes the responsibility of itself protecting these areas. क्योंकि अगर हम इनको पूरी स्टेट में मर्ज कर देते तो ये अपने कल्चर को और अपनी डिस्टिंक्टनेस को खो देते कहते दैट इज व्हाई दीज वर मेड एज union territories, the territories that are directly under the control of the union, the central government. This is the meaning of a union territory. ठीक है? तो इसीलिए अब जैसे उत्तराखंड में क्या था, it was made a different state, but there were many people to protect its culture. हाँ, लेकिन उनको थोड़ा प्रोटेक्शन चाहिए था, तो हमने क्या करा, वहां पे लैंड का वो वाला डाल दिया, जो भी हमने बताया ना कि they can't buy the land. But अंडमान एंड निकोबार में there was so less people to protect the tribal culture that उनको तो अलग से रखना ही था. So we did not make it a state. We did not merge it into another state. We brought them as a unique union territory. आ गया समझ? So that is why we have union territories. All right. So देखो, always remember that whenever we have to declare a particular area as a union territory, it has to have some unique feature of its own that needs to be very much protected. Please, ये मत सोचना that it always has to be tribal population or anything like that. It can be a strategic location also. Andaman and Nicobar, everyone. Where is it located? This is the map of India. I'll just give you an example. Okay. This is the map of India. Like this is Gujarat. Okay. This is the certain part of India. And this is how it goes. Here we have Andaman and Nicobar, is it? Okay. Here we have Lakshadweep. Now, these two areas are so strategically important for the Indian country, India as a country, that they are very, very important. The tribal population is one reason, yes. But it gives India an extended area in the Indian Ocean, in the Bay of Bengal. Does it? So one reason is this. Daman and Diu, Puducherry, the reason can be tribal population, its unique culture, distinct culture for that matter. But New Delhi में ऐसे कौन से हीरे लगे हुए थे that we made it also union territory. So इतना तो you must be knowing. In the historical times also, mostly northern part of India में what used to be the capital of the rulers, the kings, Delhi Sultanate, Delhi, remember? It used to be Delhi. New Delhi, actually, New Delhi is also part of bigger Delhi only, but it has all the administrative areas. The parliament is there, the ministers ke ghar wahan pe hain, all of these things are there. So, Mridula, what happened is that from the historic times only, Delhi had the infrastructure that was very much feasible to make it the country ka capital. Get it? So why did it not go कि अरे यार so many बहुत बोर हो गए न्यू दिल्ली से, चलो एक काम करते हैं कि अभी हम मुंबई को कैपिटल बना देते हैं. मुंबई, yes, it is the financial capital of the country, बहुत पैसा आता है यहाँ से, but administratively, feasibly, where can you have the parliament? Where can you have the Supreme Court? New Delhi already had that infrastructure. Okay, so that is why Mridula, it was very important, and it was highly, qualified to become the country's capital, and that is why a capital should be given more attention for sure. अगर इसको अलग से state, see, a state cannot be the capital of a country. Then what will be the capital of that state, right? New Delhi का कोई capital है? Do we have any capital of New Delhi itself, right? So that is why New Delhi was also made a union territory, because it was so important for the entire country, and it was brought under the direct control of the union. Getting? Now you get it?
So बच्चों, I hope आपको ये क्लास अच्छी लगी, और अगर आप यहाँ तक ऑलरेडी पहुँच गए हैं और अभी वीडियो में मुझे देख रहे हैं, congratulations to you, because you are really a serious CLAT aspirant. क्योंकि इतनी लंबी क्लास देखना इजी नहीं होता है, that too जब आप इंट्रोडक्टरी सेशंस देख रहे हैं या फिर कॉन्सेप्ट की बिल्डिंग कर रहे हैं. But you did it, and congratulations to you for that. Now let me tell you कि अगर आपके कोई भी डाउट्स थे इस क्लास से, so मैंने स्टार्टिंग में व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप के बारे में बताया था, उसे ज्वाइन कर लेना. एंड ये क्लास सिर्फ पहली क्लास है इस सीरीज की फ्रॉम लॉ ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. ओके, सो आगे और भी क्लासेस हैं जिसको आप अवेल कर सकते हो, पर उसके लिए चैनल को सब्सक्राइब जरूर करना एंड नोटिफिकेशन बेल को जरूर हिट करना. अदरवाइज जब भी इस तरह की न्यू क्लासेस अपलोड होंगी आप उन्हें मिस कर दोगे एंड आपका सिलेबस बीच में ही रह जाएगा, एंड वी डोंट वांट दैट हैपनिंग, राइट? सो डू सब्सक्राइब टू दिस चैनल, जॉइन द व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप, एंड आगे बाकी क्लासेस को भी कवर करना. एंड इफ यू हैव एनीथिंग टू आस्क, आई एम हियर फॉर यू. गुड लक.